Hello, everyone. Michael Caraccio here again. It's Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. We're a week away from our national election. I know I've not put out a video for, I don't know, about 2 weeks now and such. I was kind of uh, doing some job hunting and kind of keeping my ear to the wall, so to speak, and eyes open and stuff, and just kind of absorbing the political climate out on social sites, on top of flipping around between MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, the usual suspects. Just kind of seeing. I know there's been a torrent of political rallies that have been going on both sides, um, but there's also been a lot of political propaganda and hijinks, I'll call them, out there too. Um, I think what triggered me to definitely outside of it being, a week before elections, I know there's a lot of places that have started their early voting and such, and I know there's a lot of undecided still potentially out there. Um, but one of the main things that kind of triggered me to, say, hey, you know what, it has been a while. I guess I should do a video and such. Is uh, had kind of a back and forth a little. Well, it wasn't really a back and forth. Uh, on social media, somebody I know from years gone by and stuff has in the past posted like a lot of other people and stuff, certain memes and such with political messaging behind it, and particularly again, it was kind of a generalized meme. I guess trying to take potshot and knocking down President Trump, or emphasizing, honestly, I guess the fallacies and fables and such of certain things that the Democratic Party and the far left tries to sell at this point, to undecided voters and such, in order to have them not vote for President Trump. Or basically, I took it in such that the propaganda that was meme that was posted was, just strictly out of, the a place of hate for Donald Trump. Um, I'm sure, even if you're not a political junkie and you don't really, pay attention to uh, what's been going on out there and such. I'm sure you've heard how uh, Kamala Harris and other Democrats and mainstream media and such. I was appalled by it, quite honestly. They're back on the kick of comparing or calling President Trump Adolf Hitler, and in essence is calling anybody that backs and supports him are basically Nazis. Uh, the only way I can interpret that is that they are banking on how ignorant people are. Um, Let me rephrase that. They believe people are that ignorant, and reason I have that opinion is it kind of ended up happening uh, with the 2020 election. I mean, we were, as a country and stuff, I think a greater majority of us were uh, a captive audience and were fed um, lines, stories, and just things about Donald Trump and stuff that, of course, were flat out untrue. You know, him being a racist, him being, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I don't want to sit here and go through the whole list of everything of all the time. I mean, even going back to his administration, there were flat out lies that were about him. And please, you know, want to reiterate, I'm not defending him, but I know that I would probably be more than likely, in all fairness, because of who I am and such. If the shoe was on the other foot, I would be defending Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or anybody on the Democratic side if, you know, 1/10 of the things that Donald Trump has been through and accused of and stuff that were found to be absolutely false. I would be saying, why would you be doing that then? You want to call me, you know, a Republican sympathizer? Because as I said, I'm a undeclared. I do. I know I've mentioned it in, you know, past videos and such. I do lean towards the Republican Party, and I do have libertarian uh, ideas that I also support and such. So it's not saying that I'm completely against everything that the Democrats ever put out there and such. However, over the last, I would have to say, 10 to 15 years, uh, I've definitely watched what I felt the Democratic Party was become this radicalized uh, conglomeration of fringe people, in a sense, between what I call the alphabet people, the LBGDQ, elemental P, whatever's, and you know, I mean, groups that were trying to legitimize pedophiles. To, um, I mean, that's kind of what's been going on. The people that were been, you know, cheering on the invasion of our borders with the illegal immigrants, which if you want to go and watch that video that I had on the illegal immigration, you know my point of view on that. I mean, it's not a I'm against immigration. I am against illegal immigration. I am against people coming into our country, which is our home, uh, by any means they want, to just walk in, not assimilate, uh, and quite honestly, all you do is open yourself up to not exactly the quality uh, people. There is a large portion, or you just open yourself up and become vulnerable as a country to what I would call the dredges of other countries, uh, gangs, the mentally ill. I mean, it's true. You know it, I know it, and if you don't know it, you're not looking hard enough. Or it's what I've been, you know, calling people out on, turning around and saying, listen, your willful ignorance is appalling to me. I'm sure, I know I love this country. I know a lot of people that do love this country, but you know, it is tough for people to turn around and say, I love this country too, but we're terrible. I mean, then you're not loving the country enough. Um, if you were going to hold this country, our country, you know, accountable and stuff for every sin it created since, well, not created, every sin that it's committed since the country was created, um, and not acknowledge the fact that we have made progress and strides to correct uh, those errors in judgment, those mistakes that we made. then again, you're not for the American country, America as a nation. You're part of trying to bring it down. Um, I think our standards though in this country and stuff have definitely been constantly, slowly over the last I don't know 40 years, 60 years. The bar has been slowly but surely being dropped. There is no aspiring up to. We've become a society that we are lowering the bar so that everybody can get over it. Um, which leads us to where we are now. But kind of getting back to what I was mentioning in my opening is that so this person that I've known years ago, I'm still somewhat familiar with. You know, through social media, um, posted, if you're, for the guy who wants to not give you choice and to take away your freedoms, and I'm just paraphrasing it, but you get the idea. Um, you know, Turning around saying, in this meme, uh, was ridiculous. And in the past, I have on several other occasions, not with this person too, but other people too, have kind of posted my point of view when they post things like that and kind of go, yeah, I really don't like this propaganda. And where there is propaganda, I'm going to give my point of view. I mean, you're going to post something. Uh, you can post, anybody can post whatever they want and give their opinion. I don't deny that, but I feel I should be entitled to, if you're going to post something like that, respond to it if I don't agree with it. Long story short, of course, immediately after I had commented on basically each point that was in this meme, she ends up immediately posting up a meme that says, if you don't like what I post or whatever, why don't you just scroll on? And I even had to reply to that because that has to be one of the most irritating, uh, lame excuses or attempts to remain in an echo chamber that, social media apparently gives people the idea that that's what they should be doing. Now, my opinion is that, of course, nobody likes, the disinformation. Nobody likes falsehoods being posted or advertised out there and stuff as fact. Um, the Democrats in particular, scream and holler and stuff about, misinformation and the horrors of it. And when you put up a propaganda and then you want to put something up right after it and say, if you don't like that, just scroll by. Don't say, there's no reason for you to say something. Her general meme was, you don't have to comment on my post and stuff. You can go comment your whatever on your page. Leave my page out of it. I kind of sit there and go, no, because you're perpetuating uh, falsehood. You're participating in propaganda for whatever political party. Um, I mean, there's humor in one sense, and there's sometimes, there is off color humor out there. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I put it out there. There's things that I just find fucking funny that I'll post. I'm sorry if family, friends, or other people can become offended by it, but it's like if they want to turn around and say, "Hey, Mike, I'm really offended," I'd let them. I did today actually put up a post that I typed out, and I said, I'm posting something. I'm not telling you not to comment on it if you have an opinion on it, even if it's against what I posted, but bring it on in a sense. And that's kind of the purpose of why I started this video series too, is to try to see if I could clear things up for some people who aren't as in the know, or like I said, aren't as um, uh, heavy into politics, but still want to understand what's going on out there and such. That's one of the reasons why I made these videos. I did find it um, um, troublesome though, and I kind of felt bad about it because I had known this woman you know uh, very long time in my life and stuff. It's not like we've been you know socially active between each other and stuff, but I mean, it's just one of those people that you have history from the town you grew up with. But I found that when I responded back to her first meme, that was just, I felt full of fallacies and propaganda against President Trump. I found that she ended up not only, at first, she apparently deleted all of my comments. I did still see the comments of, I guess, the people that are like-minded as her, still sitting there commenting about her meme and going like, the general thing is, screw him and the people that support him too, because they're all fascists, they're all Nazis, they're all racists, blah, 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 blah. And it seems that is exactly how, the Democrats, from the president himself all the way down the food chain there, they like to again congregate in that echo chamber of vileness and hate, and then try to pass it off as if they're morally superior. I just saw their comments and stuff, and I kind of went, oh, okay, this is just narrow-minded uh, echo chamber stuff. It's like, how petty. I mean, you won't even address my retorts to the meme, um, which I think is cowardly. I mean, really, all I'm looking for is not to become a troll out there and stuff. But the thing is that I am an advocate of thinking before you speak, and a form of speaking is posting memes or posting comments and such. That I can definitely say that if you read them and you go out there, not enough people do enough thinking and stuff before they hit the keyboard or they cut and paste or upload a meme or whatever. Um, Mistakes happen is one thing, but it just seems that there is just a lot of people that just want to slap things up there and such and say, yeah, this is my opinion. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm entitled to voice my opinion of your opinion. If you're going to put it out there for all to see, you want to start your own little group that only, your people want to talk about it, you should. But if you're going to throw it out there and then turn around and say, if you don't like what I have to say, just, don't comment. It's like, no, you're what? So that you can walk around and think that you are, again, morally superior and such, because nobody is denying you, uh, you know, correcting your thought and or opinion. Uh, so you must be right. That's the essence of an echo chamber. You just sit there and go, I'm right, and all you get back off the freaking echo chamber is, yes, you're right, you're right, you're right. You never hear that you're wrong. You never hear an opposing uh, point of view. And the thing is how do you become better? How do you become more educated, become more knowledgeable? God forbid you change that opinion. I mean, seriously, with that kind of thinking of, if you don't like what I say, just move on. Don't comment and stuff. Do you understand? And I'm taking it extremely, but I'm just trying to make a point. Do you understand how racism, slavery would have never gotten out of this country if Abe Lincoln had that listen to the South, turn around and say, leave us alone if you don't like the fact that we have slaves. Oh, you're right. You know what? Yeah, yeah. I shouldn't comment. I shouldn't go against your opinion that people should be owned. I mean, that to me is kind of the mentality. And if you're not thinking of what you're doing out there when you post that propaganda stuff, I'm sorry to say, it just seems like your thinking is wrong. It's wrong-minded. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I mean, if you have your reason, make it clear. Um, I'm again, we're a week away from our national election. I'm not terrified. I'm not fearful. I am definitely concerned about Kamala Harris if she gets elected. That we're going to have a continuation of the policies of the Biden administration. We're setting up and have been setting up, I think, since um, I would have to say Obama, to align with globalism and socialism in this country and such, and that's not what we are. We're a republic. We would like our freedom. We're Americans. That's why we love our country. The people that want to knock down our country and say how evil our founding fathers were, and pick at the history and try to hold it up to the mirror of today and the things we have learned. Well, in a sense and such, overall society back then didn't know any better. It was a different time. um, you know the first going to the first pilgrims that laid foot on American soil, to our founding fathers, to uh, the Civil War, to the early 20th century, before World War One and World War One, and then society as it was leading up to and including World War Two, and then the Korean War, and I mean, just walk it up. I mean, we were not, again, perfect, but we were progressing and we were improving ourselves as a nation, as people, and as a society. But we still haven't gotten it right, and we have been taking large steps back in the last, you know, 8 years, 10 years, almost 20 years. Large steps back. I mean, Obama started with the, going to change America. He's not changing it for the better. I feel that there is a replacement going on, and they want to replace people that think, people that are willing to not just shoot from the hip and throw propaganda memes up on uh, social media, and just sit there and be a nodding yes bobblehead and such when MSNBC or CNN, whatever the hell they want to put out there, because yous did that. Yous did. I mean, if you want to sit there and say, I'm a Fox News person or whatever, yeah, I kind of lean towards them because they seem to be more closer to the. I don't take everything they put up there. I don't sit there and go, well, no, you guys are right all the time. There's things that I haven't agreed on, but I sit there and I check and I verify. Trust but verify is a big thing. I just don't see a lot of people doing it. And like I said, this one woman, she was doing it, and other people have done it. And like I said, I had, through social media and stuff, exchange with her to, that she was like, why do you comment on my stuff? And I'm going, because I don't agree with it. And it was like, and her kind of response was kind of, well, if you don't agree with it, you don't have to, voice it. Go voice it on your own page. And it's kind of that's no, because if somebody doesn't know me and they see that and they're not too sure and they see that, they're going to go, oh, I guess that's true. And then how do you stop the wrong of it? I mean, I wouldn't let my kids and stuff touch a stove after telling them that it's hot and you're going to get burned. I understand, people turn around and say, well, you have to let them get burned. I said, metaphorically, yeah. Physically, no. If I know my kid's going to grab that hot thing and severely burn their hand or whatever and stuff, then I'm going to be having to take a trip to the hospital, and they're going to have to get skin grafts to repair the damage. um I mean, there's a certain level that you want to turn around and you want to, stop people from hurting themselves, hurting others and stuff, and providing wrong information and such is part of, believe it or not, that's a positive contribution to society as a whole. If you see something that's wrong and you kind of go raise your hand and say, excuse me, but um, and you have more information that'll help, you know, clear up a misunderstanding, or do we just keep going on misunderstandings and everybody grabs onto their what they, you know, misunderstood, ignore any truth and stuff that might correct that opinion and stuff, and just keep, hating. Um, I know the Democrats are, were and that political party had a big thing of, hate has no place here. And I've said it before. It's like, if you had those posters, you have those flags or those lawn signs or something that hate has no place here, and you're still voting for, Kamala Harris, dig them up, burn them, throw them out, rip them up, because you're if I have consistently been asking people, like, why Kamala Harris, why not President Trump? Policies. I just want to know policies, but the only answers I get back pretty much are exactly the same regurgitate. It's just a regurgitation of, what they're hearing on the news, or what they're hearing coming out of Biden's mouth, or they hear that come out of Harris's mouth. Of he's a Nazi, and he's that's one of the biggest things. That has been going on for the last week or two. Harris is sitting there turning around and saying that, Trump is old and tired, and he's got, cognitive issues, and he's got something mentally wrong with him. And my jaw fell into my lap. And I'm going to ask you out there, and I really want to hear whether you're pro or against. The question I want to ask that I haven't seen anybody ask, he was in the same White House with Biden for almost 4 years, and was standing there turning around saying how sharp he was and on the money. Okay? All right. Question becomes, she had one debate and was in a room for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours with President Trump. And I just want to know, that doesn't count as being really exposed to him. How she can, so far away from Trump, make the same determinations that were right under her nose and stuff with Biden. I answer me, please, somebody. Or tell me that you have the same question. Or, hey, you know what, Mike, I didn't even think of that. That would be my retort to her. If I had the opportunity, and sitting there listening to her say that, go, oh, Donald Trump, he's all, you can't put him in the White House. He's incapable. He doesn't have the mental capacity. I would turn around and go, Kamala, you are in the same White House, your own proclamation, last person in the room, exposed to Joe Biden, and you were turning around and saying he was, really, he was sharp as a tack, and had his wits about him, and he just was so knowledgeable, and had all of his marbles and all that. Like, he was right under your nose. And I don't get it. What measuring stick are you using? And I don't want to hear, because I think I had one person answer me back and say, well, that's just politics. I understand, for the most part, politics. Where we are in this country and stuff, it's not just the typical political games. This is the struggle for our republic. I feel, and I can give you a whole list of things. You have to understand, if you haven't noticed, I do this unscripted. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I don't have notes in front of me or anything. I literally I do think and I try to keep uh, on topic and such. But you have to understand, I'm not doing this with a script. I'm not doing this with a teleprompter myself. But my point basically being and such is whatever. It just seems to be more of the norm that apparently a portion of this country is willing to accept is whatever the Democrats say the Republicans are doing is something they're doing themselves or have already done. Or a third thing, they're preparing everybody for what they have done and haven't been caught at yet so that they can just go, well, yeah, let me give you the next thing. And that's what they do. I am appalled because I want to know where. I understand. If anybody can remember back, go ask your parents. My parents are no longer alive, but again, I was aware when I was younger. You know, the politics when our grandparents were alive, our parents now, or back in their day when they were raising families or getting ready to raise family or whatever in their younger years. The politics was just the general suspicion by what I felt that was the general population was all politicians lie. And the thing is that everybody knew the lies that were coming out of the politicians' mouth and stuff were just to get votes, Nowadays, it just seems that calling an entire political party and their supporters uh, racists and Nazis and such. This isn't a lie. This becomes a belief thing, and that is poisonous to society because it's funny that the Democrats want to stand there up on their soapboxes and say how President Trump is trying to divide the country, and they're Nazi supporters too. It makes me scratch my head, and here's why. Um, if you are a person and you happen to be watching this video who has supported the Democrats, supported Biden, supported Harris, and planning on continuing to support Harris, if you notice in your anger at President Trump is because he's a name caller and he says nasty things towards people, if you notice, he pretty much talks about specific people. That's a difference. That's a difference in my opinion, and I would love to hear from people who want to turn around and say no. He calls all Democrats Nazis the way Democrats, Harris, Biden, are calling the MAGA people Nazis. If you really pay attention, he attacks the people that are attacking him, and he keeps it individualized, and he keeps it pretty much contained. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't like the way he puts things. I wish he would find better ways to put things and such, but he doesn't damn everyone that supports the people that are against him. He doesn't do it. And I want to know, send me a link, send me a video, something, please. But if you would honestly look at it, you will see that, yeah, he's calling, Kamala Harris dumb. He called, Sleepy Joe, Crooked Hillary, Crooked Joe. Those are names and tags that he's putting on specific individuals. Okay? I have yet to identify when he has turned around and said, almost all on the lines of, and your supporters too. I haven't seen that he's done that. I've seen him going, you got to see those people for what they are and what they're really doing. from the top down in that political party. Because I know I said in one of my other videos, and I still feel it today, and I'm going to say it again, 1 week out from the election. Listen, to be honest with you, if you want to be a Democrat and you're holding on to your Democratic Party and such, for God's sakes, I mean, that party has been around since 1828. Look it up, okay? Look at your party's history. And I'm not sitting here turning around and saying that, the Republicans were perfect. I am not saying that libertarians have it all together. But the Democrats and such, where they came from and their past history and stuff, you need to look at it deeper. And yes, if you want to turn around and say, yeah, but we've gotten better from those dark days of being pro Ku Klux Klan, being pro slavery, and really the machine behind racism in our country. It's a fact. Go look it up. And if you want to turn around and say, but we got away from it, look what John F. Kennedy did for the, equal rights and all. I turn around and I say, I agree. Absolutely, I acknowledge that. My point to you is look at what your party has become since. You need to take control of your party again, because what your party is handing you and such, it's almost like they're going back to that. They're trying to dismantle, in my opinion, our republic and replace intelligent people with people who don't know any better and owe them because they're easier to control. That's how come. And I'm not comparing them, but you need to hear what I'm saying. Adolf Hitler dehumanized Jews and blacks as the top examples to gain power, dehumanized them, made them the targets of, particularly the Jews, the problems of all of Germany. That's how he came into power. I feel that that's exactly in a fashion what the Democratic Party is trying to do. Dehumanize MAGA. Dehumanize anybody that speaks against the Democratic Party or the political machine that it is. And they're trying to fill in underneath with people who don't know any better, don't know this country, aren't assimilated to our country, to know that their opinion matters, to become educated in our laws and how we were founded and everything. They don't want those people. They want people in this country that don't know any better, and they can tell their version of what this country is so that they can have everybody be a Democrat and they can hang on to their power. Let's face it, folks. COVID came along and they made sure everybody was locked down and your kids was staying home while their kids went to private schools, while their kids continued to get educated and stay on target and stuff in their progress while your kids are behind. Our public school systems and such, they're not the greatest. They should be. I don't know why they're not. My guess would turn around and be because they don't want your kids being smart. They want you stupid. That's as plainly as I could put it. They want you stupid. Because if you don't know any better, you're going to believe whatever they tell you. There's still people out there doing it to this day. And they're hoping you remain stupid so that you'll vote for Harris next week. And you won't question, and you'll just listen to everything they say. Don't be that narrow-minded. Please. Be an American. Trust what they tell you, but verify it. And if you verify it to find out that they're not telling you the truth, you need to call them to task. Because it's a shame, and I hope that one day our news media will get back to their true job and what the founding fathers saw as their purpose and stuff, is to be the ones that question authority, become our voice, to be the ones to go to the people in power and question them when they are saying things that aren't true or aren't right or headed in things. We need that again. We need that again for the American people. I mean, we can't have, 300 million, 330 million people and stuff, you know, running around to every political person asking a question. That was what the news was doing for us. They're not doing it anymore. Everything seems to become talking heads, editorials. They're not just flat out questioning. Listen, they said this, and here's the problem with that, and we're looking into it. We're going to follow up, and then actually follow up. Hold their, the politicians or the people in power hold their feet to the fire on it, and we're allowing them to the news media to get away with that. We're allowing people of political power and stuff to get away with their blatant lies. They're not getting their hands smacked to stay out of the cookie jar. They're not getting turned around and told to shut their mouth, basically, because all they're doing is spewing lies. Think about it. We had riots going on and such, and the Democratic Party and stuff was cheering it on. We had, it's now what, 21, 22 million people illegally come over our border and stuff, and the Democrats cheered it on and acted like it wasn't happening as it was happening. They wanted to turn around and say that piece of legislation that Harris and Biden tried to sell and stuff, going, oh yeah, it was President Trump who kept it from happening for political reasons. It wasn't to correct anything in our immigration system. It was nothing. And please go look it up and or let me know if you want to see it for yourself. I got the PDF copy of it and stuff off the government website of the entire bill. All it was to do was to help get illegal immigrants into our country faster. Non-citizens to vote in our elections faster. I said it before, I'll say it again. You have a flood going on in your house. You don't start running around trying to freaking patch every hole in the pipes while the water's running. You got to shut the water off first, and that's why it's just more bureaucratic bloat is what it would have been. I'm sure the border agents and stuff could use more hands, but let's get the border where it belongs and how people get into this country straightened out first. So then we can assess how many Border Patrol people we need. Do we need more? Do they need to be trained in a better way? And say, well, wait a minute. Now we only have ports of entry into our country. Yeah, they can handle that because they don't have to sit there and change diapers and whose kid's this and who's your mom and dad and that's what they're doing and going home and crying their eyes out because they're being so overwhelmed. And the other thing is and stuff, if you that's not being against immigration. That's being against the illegal immigration. I have on my other video and stuff, like I say, listen, if you're all for the illegal immigration that's been going on, because remember, they had Biden shirts on when he was elected. They were dressed up Biden. They knew who was letting them in this country illegally to just come in. So don't deny the fact and stuff that, it's both sides. Yeah, well, both sides need to get together and stuff to straighten out the mess and stuff. But who was in power and stuff that threw the door open and just kept bringing people in, and they weren't holding them back, they were just depositing them everywhere. 15,000 criminals were released into our country. We have over 500 counties in our country. I don't remember off the top of my head what number of counties there were. Maybe I'll have it in one of my other next videos. I will readdress it and such. But you have to figure what I came out with and stuff. It was like something like 9 of those criminals per county. Do you understand what that means? You have a murderer, a pedophile, a criminal, a murderous criminal walking around in your county. Yet one is too many, folks. And I know, I hope that you've watched the news and stuff and saw how many innocent women, girls, were raped and killed by nothing more than the illegal aliens that came in. And if there's 21 million of them, 22 million of them, and only 1% of them, and I'll say, you want to turn around and say, well, most of them are just looking for a better life and the whole thing. Okay, like I said, but you have to take into consideration and stuff the bad ones that are mixed in the crowd. And even if you took 1% of that 22 million, for God's sakes, do you understand? Go do the math, get a calculator out. Do you understand how many people of bad intent that has let into our country? And if you're not willing to acknowledge that, you have willful ignorance. You want to ignore the problem. Because for political party, I don't want to see, Harris putting up, oh, it's country over party. No, you're becoming exactly the opposite of that. You're party over country. And if you don't think you're doing that and such, you're ignoring the facts. Now, if you want to answer me back and send me an email, you want to post something and put a comment and stuff on this video saying, no, Mike, you're wrong, and tell me why, please do. I've asked for it. That's what the purpose of this all is. But I am telling you and such, you're not looking for the facts. You're not going for the truth. And I don't want to hear my truth. Well, this is my truth, Mike. No, there is the truth. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. And those should be based off of truth. The sole thing that is supposed to be part of everyone's logic, part of everybody's reasoning. And the thing is that it's okay if you didn't know any better, but once it's pointed out to you and stuff, don't ignore it. Look into it. Just go, oh, okay. I still have the opinion I have, even with those facts. At least find the facts. Don't deny the facts. One of the examples in a conversation I actually had with some I'm not going to say who. They don't want their names announced and stuff, but they're very close to me in my life and such. I had said a long time ago, I used to tell my kids, and I kind of came up with a better way of putting it now in their adulthood. So if they're watching and stuff, this is for you too. I used to tell them and stuff, the truth is not something like, you go to the grocery store and you only select what you want off the shelves. The truth is you have to take one of everything. You have to. That's how the truth works. And to maybe give a better example and stuff of not having the truth is going to leave you to the wrong opinions and the wrong conclusions. If you took out every third number trying to count to 10, you're going to come up with an answer of how many fingers you have is 14. So if you want to sit there for a minute and figure that out and such, I can do it for you if you want. You got your 10 fingers and you sit there and you're going to count and count, disregard the third fact all the time. You're going to come up with 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Kind of see where this is going, folks? Still don't? 10, 11, 13, 14. I have 10 fingers because I know what the truth is. You want to skip every third truth to keep your opinion intact, your narrative intact. You're going to think you have 14 fingers. Does that help? I hope it does. Because that's how I look at people who you're just trying to help. I want to be educated too. I want people to tell me and stuff, hey, if I got it wrong, let me know. Provide me those facts. Please change my opinion. That's an open mind, folks. Saying I can throw my opinion out on social media, but you can't comment on it. You shouldn't. Just leave me alone in my opinion. That's not an open mind. That is a very, very closed, narrow-minded person. I hope you're not it. If you are, there's help. You can help yourself. That's all I'm asking for. And like I said, if you still want to sit there and have your opinions that you have, there's nothing wrong with you having your beliefs. Nothing wrong with you having your beliefs. Just base them in fact. There are only two genders. Those are facts. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm not trying to, throw, you know, fantasy or falsehoods back in your face and stuff and say, no, 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 you have to follow the falsehood. It's that kind of a thing, folks. You just really have to do that. You have to question. I questioned. I saw what President Trump did in his administration and such. He was helping everybody. That's a fact. You don't think so? Show me the facts and explain to me how it's not true. Please do. I want to see it. I am looking. I have looked. I've seen the numbers. And I'm not talking about, off of Fox or some right-wing website. I'm talking about actually going out to government website and such. That's where, to me, is the end-all be-all. They're responsible to give the answers. I showed how, they want to turn around and say, well, the economy isn't that bad. You're really not paying the high prices like you are. And I showed how the price, how $100 only, you bought 7% less during Trump's administration. $100 became $107 because of inflation or, price increase or the weakness of the dollar and stuff, but it only decreased like 7%. So it would take, by the end of his administration, $107 to buy the same things that you bought for $100 at the beginning of his administration. Currently, the same $100, the stuff you were able to buy 4 years ago for $100 and stuff is well over 20% more. But the Democratic Party wants you to say, oh, I have to change my life. And no, things are, better. That's not better, folks. That's not better. You know it, and I know it. That's real. That's right under your nose. I truly hope that everybody does get out and vote. But please, don't just push a lever, punch a hole, whatever it is, however it is, write in a name. Don't do it blindly because that's what your political party told you to do. Please don't do it because you got hate in your heart. I mean, that's not going to help the country. But if you can't find any other way to do it and stuff, and you're going to do it anyway, all I can do is hope and pray that one day your heart doesn't have as much hate in it and you become a better person, because that's an awful lot of hate. That really is. I hope you go in feeling educated, feeling knowledgeable, and then, you know what? That's who I'm voting for. Because it has to do with beliefs. It's it's the right thing to do. Whoever you vote for and stuff, it's the right person to vote for. And I hope it's not just because of one issue. If you're going to go in and you're only focused on, who's more for abortion than not for abortion, and that's the only thing, well, you have to understand you're going to have to take all the facts then. That means that if you're voting for Kamala Harris, because the Democratic Party is so gung-ho on, choice, my God, go watch my video regarding abortion that I had and such. I took both sides and stuff, but My basic thing is that's the only thing you're going in on and stuff. You're going to have to accept responsibility for people that get killed by illegal aliens, because that's what that party wants, is an open border. And that's the truth that you're going to have to take. You're going to have to take that they want pedophiles to be legalized in a sense. I mean, I'm saying that kind of off the cuff, and where did that come from? Minor attracted people, they were trying to label them as. I mean, that came from the Democratic Party. The far left, I don't care if you're moderate and stuff, they go, well, that wasn't me. It's in your party. Get your party back. Moderate. Because at least when there was more moderate Democrats, conversations could occur. Conversations cannot occur if anybody's noticed. They're not occurring, folks. You gotta take your party back. You gotta get rid of some of the people that are so extreme. The AOC and the squad. I mean, they're off their rocker. They don't want the country that we have. They want to take it over. They want it to be assimilated to what their view of what it should be. And once that snowball starts rolling downhill, folks, and I think this is the election that snowball is either going to get stopped or you're going to have it roll. You better think about it long and hard. You better make sure you're making the right decision with who you vote for. I'm sorry to say. I feel I am making the right decision. Donald Trump is not in it for himself. For God's sakes, the guy's a billionaire. Who would put himself through all of the abuse that he's put himself through? Who? I mean, think about it. If he was a criminal and stuff, they would have freaking done something 40 years that he was in the public eye before 2015, when he first declared, as they put it and stuff, came down the golden escalator. They would have nailed him on something in the first 40 years. Those pictures of him being with Jesse Jackson and the Clintons and such from years gone by and stuff, they weren't Photoshop, folks. Everybody wanted to rub elbows with him before he got in the political arena. If he was this criminal crook or whatever, my God, don't you think they would have nailed him within the 40 years before he even decided he wanted to run for president? Go back and read some of his old videos. You can find them. His old interviews. And I'm talking 20, 30 years before he decided to become president. He didn't say much different then of what he's saying now. And he was considered a Democrat. Surprise. Look it up. Look it up. He had problems with what the Democrats were doing back then. Oh, Donald. But he wasn't running for president. But everybody wanted his money. Everybody wanted him to help. Everybody in the Democratic Party wanted to rub elbows with him. Well, now here he is and such, and all of a sudden he became a racist. He became a rapist. He's a Nazi? Come on. You really got to think about it. But like I said, folks, I've evolved into a kind of a political junkie. I'm not saying you have to become a political junkie. Well, I turn around and say, give yourself one day to kind of look at this stuff. It does get mind-boggling at times and stuff, and I know it can get complex. That's why I'm trying to help. But just look up some of this stuff yourself, or reach out to me. I'll point you to some of the things that I'm telling you. I'm not pointing you to propaganda. I'm not going to point you that way. I want the American people to have control over our country and such, and put people in place that run and progress our country the way we want it to be, not what they're telling us it should be. We're smart enough, but we're not going to be smart enough for long if we keep letting people who are less educated about our country and our history, about who we really are as a people and stuff, to keep flooding into this country. We're going to be taken over. And by the way, all of you little fringe groups that felt in 2020 you were being embraced into the Democrat Party. You were used. I'm just letting you know. Because all the people that came over the border, they're the ones that are going to replace you. You made managing the Democratic Party more difficult. So when they get their uneducated non-citizens to vote, you're replaced. Watch how many, have you seen how many people have left the Democratic Party? Left it. Walked out on it. I'm not even saying who became a Republican. By the way, that reminds me and stuff. Tulsi Gabbard was a very, very good candidate for you guys. I listened to her when she ran in 2020. She definitely was a hell of a lot more intelligent than Harris. She was a Democrat. She ran as a Democrat presidential potential in 2020. And I listened to her, and she was more moderate, and she made sense on a lot of things. Didn't say I agreed with absolutely everything she had to say and stuff, but she was somebody I was willing to consider, and I'm not just giving that lip service. Okay? So I'm not some misogynistic racist. I'm not a bigot. But she is somebody that I was, sitting there going like, she's got a point there. Like, and in a sense, considering that I got my wish and stuff, I'm glad she became a Republican. Because I don't look at her as being made into a Republican. She's a counterbalance within our party, is how I look at her. Because she's moderate. Because she has ideas that can balance out and keep the Republican Party from going too far right and too extreme and too much to the radical side. Because there does. And there has to be balance in this country. There has to be. And if you're voting for Harris, you're not voting for balance, folks. I'm sorry to say. And what are you going to say? Oh, well, yeah, but you're voting for President Trump. There isn't going to be balance. Yes, there is. He did it for 4 years. He did it for 4 years. If you go and look at what really happened for the 4 years, not what MSNBC told you, not what CNN told you, not what the freaking Nancy Pelosi told you, what Chuck Schumer told you, what Biden told you. None of those political morons. You go look at the facts of what actually happened and stuff. Everybody was doing better. Everybody was doing better. The middle class grew. What that means is that more people were lifted out of poverty. Who's in poverty? Whites, blacks, Hispanic, Chinese, Asian, Chinese, Asian. Yeah, go down the whole damn list. People from the Far East, people of Muslim, Arab descent, Muslim faith. Go look at it. Go find the numbers. Well, get in touch with me. I'll show you where the numbers are. And you can look at it and find out you were lied to. Lied. Not the political hyperbole. You were lied to. You were lied to for COVID. And I've spoken about COVID. It was a legitimate thing that was then taken advantage of. Locked us down, kept us as captive audience. We couldn't really talk to anybody else. We couldn't talk to our neighbors, so all we got was whatever came in through social media, through the media, through social media, through the mainstream media, our TVs. Like, come on, talking heads. Oh, yeah, Trump, bad guy. Hate man, orange. Yeah, orange man. Yes, hate orange man. That's what they drilled into you. And you can turn around and think that you were strong as possible. But that's what happened. It's really what happened. Please. Think before you speak. Think before you post. But we got one more week and stuff. We're at a crossroads. We really are. We really are. That's not a hyperbole. I believe that. I truly do believe that. Um, so you want our country to become, I don't know, not the great melting pot that it is and stuff. You want us to be living in fear? Vote for Harris. Vote for the Democrats. You want for the extreme part of the party. You don't want control over your party. You want your party to tell you what to believe. You want your party to pull the strings on you, and you know, you want to be sitting on the government tit for the rest of your life and not be able to have any choices anymore, because that's all they're doing. I mean, Harris is coming up with, Biden's gonna wipe away everybody's uh, student debt. Harris is going to hand out, $25,000 to new first time home buyers. They're buying you, but you have to do what they tell you to do, and then you have to vote for them, and you have to make sure they're in power all the time. You become servant to them. No, that's why you work hard and you build your own wealth, and you do all of those types of things, and you work hard and you keep your nose clean, and you become educated and everything and stuff, and you become control of your own destiny. You keep your options open, and you build the exact life that you want. If you want a life that's living in a freaking, I don't know, a mansion, or you want to live in a trailer park, it's still your choice, because that's what you're comfortable and happy with. There's nothing wrong with it. You want to live in a trailer park because you just like it being that simple. Be that simple. You want to be a farmer and you want to feed people and know that you're making a difference. They're not just to our country, but to the world and stuff. That's what you want. You be that. You want to work on Wall Street and stuff and help build up people's 401ks and get, people's retirement pensions and stuff. Do that. To benefit the unions for their members and stuff. Do that. And from top to bottom and right to left and stuff, nobody should turn around and tell you you're doing the wrong thing. And nobody should be telling you in such what you should be doing or not be doing. It was your hard work. It's where you wanted to land, and that's where you landed. I think one of my next videos and stuff is going to be about, the whole alphabet people and discrimination. Just to give you a quick preview on it and such, I am against discrimination. Period. I'll get more into it and such so that you understand what I'm talking about. And I gonna, like I try to be as flat out honest as I can be. So that's the end of this version. I'm probably going to put out a couple of more videos within the next week. Definitely as the election comes up, because yes, in a sense and such, I'm going to be probably promoting Trump, and if you don't want to hear it, I'm sorry. Hopefully you'll listen anyway, and be able to use it to, I don't know, you want to clap back at me, or you want to give me your counterpoint and stuff, please do. I'm not telling you to screen or, continue to scroll and ignore and go to your little happy place and stuff. I don't want anybody to live in an echo chamber. I'm not living in an echo chamber. Echo chamber is poison, folks, because all you're hearing is your own voice back and people who are just agreeing with you, and they'll watch you go over the cliff. And that doesn't matter what your political choice is. You sit in a freaking echo chamber like that, you will be heading for failure, and nobody's going to stop you. And when it does happen and such, all you're going to hear is you're going to hear your own voice pleading for mercy or pleading for help, and nobody's going to answer you. So, all right, enough of that. But I will definitely see you soon. As I always put in my videos, I didn't do it at the beginning and such. That's okay, because I'm going to be putting it at my end, because I really wanted to get to this topic. My videos can be found on Rumble. That's the URL right there. I will ask you to please not only view my videos, but please follow that channel and such. And I'm asking whether you agree with it or not, because, again, I don't mind if you feel that, you know what, you want to, hey, Mike, I want to educate you. Please do. That's what I'm asking for. That's really, I have absolutely no problems with it. I don't mind debating people. I don't mind having those conversations and such. I am definitely open to anybody's questions. I'm also still open to anybody want to recommend or ask about a topic that maybe you want to hear my opinion on. I'll make a video for it. Just let me know. You can also, not only view those videos, but I did end up seeing, just so that you know and such, apparently I have had a couple of comments on some of my videos that I can't see, and I kind of got somebody from Rumble. I kind of turned around and said the reason why I'm not seeing their comments is because they did not follow my channel. So I'm going to let you know. It's not that I'm not answering your comments out there, folks, but if you do have a comment that you want to leave out there and stuff, please put yourself as, and hopefully that'll clear that up. Please make sure that you follow my channel and such. I'd appreciate it. And again, you have my personal email there, is njcgemini@verizon.net. And I ask that you just put JMHO in the subject so that I make sure I don't miss it. Of course, I will answer your email either directly, or I will answer your email on a video if you want me to. And it's just, if it's something that's, a little bit bigger that you just don't want to sit there and throw into a comment and have it out there for potential critics or ridicule or whatever, you can direct it to me directly. It's best to send it to me on email, and I will definitely respond to you, and I'll even maybe incorporate it into one of my future videos. Again, I'm Michael Caraccio. I appreciate you taking the time. I know my videos run about an hour or so and such. I appreciate you taking the time. It's good that you can pause it. If you also notice, like I said, I actually did get a friend of mine that had questions and stuff and saying, do you have it scripted? No, I don't have anything scripted. I have my topics. I have my thoughts on them. I make sure I have my thoughts. And the other thing he asked, he says, it doesn't look like you're editing these. No, I kind of hit, start recording, and I'll end up hitting stop recording and stuff when it's done. I don't edit my videos and such. You're seeing me in a sense in real time. So there are no gaps. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, you're seeing me as is, and I hope that you understand that's how I am being truthful, being honest. I really don't have a teleprompter. I don't have these notes. I do jot certain things down when I'm doing research and I'm looking up a particular subject, but I really I'm pretty much doing this straight out of my head. That's why sometimes I may end up skipping around or such. Or I do have my little bit of longer pauses because I know I want to make sure that I'm not going too far off the beaten track, and I do stay on topic and such. But that's it for now. I do thank you for taking the time to watch the video. I do want to hear from you. Please follow me on Rumble, and hopefully I will see you again soon. So you guys take care. Thank you.